Before we begin, I would like to clarify a few things. This tutorial is largely inspired by Blue Lunatic Flame's video. I will basically just do what he did, but in more detail and with audio commentary. Speaking of which, if you find my accent difficult to understand, I did include subtitles. Also, as I will further elaborate on in the video, Touhou 6, embodiment of Scarlet Devil, does not run well using this method. If you were specifically looking forward to playing this game, you may be disappointed. Kind of obvious, but still worth mentioning, you can't do this on an iPhone. Maybe someday in the future Apple users will get the ability to do something similar, but as of now, Android phones are just simply capable of way more. With all of that out of the way, let's begin. First, you will need to download the required files from the Megalink or from a Google Drive. I will link all of the resources I'll use in the description, along with the Blue Lunatic Flames video. If you downloaded it from Mega like I did, this is where it will be located. Extract the files and then delete the .zip file since you won't be needing it anymore. You'll need to install the app. In the Blue Lunatic Flames comments section, some people were complaining about security, but as you can see, my phone that has the latest Play Protect and HyperOS security update finds no issues with the app, so we can move on. After installing the app, do not open it. Rather, transfer the OPB file to the OPB folder in the Android folder. That is the main reason why I'm using ZArchiver rather than the default file manager that comes included with the phone. You can also delete the .apk file now since you already installed it. Now open the app and recreate the following steps. Allow it to have storage access and wait for it to start up. Don't worry, you will only have to do this the first time around. You need to give it the permission to display over other apps. Click on the three lines in the upper left corner of the screen. Go to Manage Containers, click on the plus icon in the upper right corner of the screen. Click on the three dots and then click on Settings. Feel free to rename your container to whatever you'd like. Change the screen size to whatever you want. I would personally recommend 640 by 480 even though in the video I showed up 800 by 600. In the graphics, choose a 32-bit color depth and change the language to English. Go back to the desktop tab. Check all of these things that I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Now we need to set up Input Bridge so that we can actually have an input method. Install Input Bridge, then delete the .apk and transfer the folder into your game directory. Run Input Bridge, give it the permission to display over other apps. Click on the plus icon in the upper right corner in order to create a new profile. Click on the touchscreen icon and click on the blue Edit Controls button. From here, what you want to do will vary from game to game. However, in all Touhou games, you will need the Z button for shooting, the X button for bombs, and the combination of the Z and left shift key for shooting when focused. In other games like Touhou 18, you will need additional buttons, in my case C and D. You will also need the escape button in order to traverse the menus. You can also change the size or icon of buttons as you see fit. I personally recommend increasing the D-pad size since this is a game with a lot of precise movement. Before we start playing the game, we actually kinda need the game to play. I can't really help you in that department since I can't promote piracy on YouTube. If you have a legal copy of the game, copy it to your phone, and if you don't, there are ways. In order to have the game run in English or just run in general, you'll need an English patch. Don't download any of those incomplete 15-year-old patches that are questionable at best. However, you can't use the regular release of Touhou Patch Center either since it requires Net Framework to run, which is something we don't have here. Instead, you'll need the pre-packaged patches of individual games from their website, which I'll link in the description. Extract those files directly into your game directory. And of course, delete the .zip later since you won't be needing it anymore. Also, very important, your game directory needs to be in the Downloads folder so that the app can find it. Now, when starting the program, you need to absolutely spam and obliterate the Start Services button, otherwise you will encounter a serious error when trying to boot up Touhou. Then click on the TFM Virgil button. Once the program starts, click on the Start button, then navigate to Programs, then find D3D, then D3D, and then the second to last option. Click on Cancel. Now click on the left button with the black border. Now we need to install DirectX by clicking on this button. The rest of the setup is as it would usually be. After installing DirectX, navigate to your Downloads folder as shown on screen. Go into your game directory and then into the Input Bridge folder. Run the install bat file. Once done, just press any key to exit out of it. You can open your keyboard by clicking on the keyboard icon on the upper part of the screen. Then run the .exe. Don't close out of the window, but rather minimize it. You will only have to do this time. Any other time you want to use Input Bridge, just open the app on your phone. Go back to your game directory. Now you can edit the settings with custom exe or the English version on it. And once all of that is complete, you can finally run Touhou. Make sure to run the English patch rather than the original. When the game starts, adjust the screen to your liking, and then by pressing the gear icon in the upper right corner of the screen, you will make the on-screen controls appear. The boot times are kinda long, but that's just something you'll have to deal with. For me, when I'm not screen recording, the game consistently runs at about 40 something to 50 something FPS, which while not ideal is good enough in my opinion. Depending on the game you are playing and what phone you are using, the game may run faster or slower. Before I tried Touhou 18, I tried Touhou 6. I don't know what it is with Touhou 6 in particular, but when I tried to play it, it consistently ran at 18 to 19 FPS, which is borderline unplayable. Blue Lunatic Flame also said it ran with significant slowdown, and people also commented about that problem on his video, so that seems to be an issue across the board. It's probably due to Touhou 6's not so stellar code, but I'm only guessing. And that would be about it for this tutorial. Any feedback you can give me would be appreciated. And with that, bye bye!